Yes, I know I am a bit late, but better late than never. And I have to say, episode 3 of season 2 of Eminence in Shadow has to be the best episode of season 2 so far, and one of the best episodes in the series so far as well. I enjoyed it immensely. Now, this episode really shows why Eminence in Shadow is so gosh darn good. And it does that by perfectly blending the comedic relief and having all these hilarious moments where you face palm to yourself and it's like, God, they're not doing that. Of course they're doing that. And laughing and just having such a good time, while at the same time having these impactful action and dramatic scenes that actually have impact and that you feel are actually engrossing. And they blend these things so well, especially in this episode, which I really, really love. So, just to summarize here, Sid, he does his atomic end of life episode, basically kills the Crimson general vampire guy and every other person in the area, and he says like, yeah, I guess, I killed the boss, so guess I'll just search elsewhere. So he goes to the basement or whatever to search for gold or something else, and then Beta arrives there to save Claire as Claire and Mary arrives as the Blood Queen resurrects. And then, of course, eventually Shadow also arrives to save the day. But I did really enjoy how they let other characters this episode really have some action time. And of course, Aurora as well, coming back into the fray in this one, as she is one of my favorite characters in the show as well. Now, I kind of wanted to see a bit more of the Shadow Garden members, Beta in this case especially, really showcase her powers. Like, yes, she has some action scenes, and yes, she does a few things, but I was kind of hoping for her to really, let's say, unleash all the power she has, to really give her a bit more time to shine, to really, sure, still be beaten in the end, but still put up more of a intense fight. But still, it was done well enough. What ends up saving, though, Beta and these other Shadow Garden members, including Rose and Claire and Mary as well, is that Claire's blood as the queen basically makes the possessed blood rise up again and blends her own progenitor blood with it in Claire. And for some reason, she is, or has the constitution to blend it somehow. That means she basically gets special powers of some shape or form, and we have this whole scene with her being unconscious in this very modern-looking infirmary, where Aurora explains to her about evolution and the different paths, etc., etc. All that was a bit unclear to me. I'm not quite sure where they were going with that. I'm interested to explore more of that, though, in the future, if they give us more hints of what exactly they mean with the possessed blood, the demon blood, and the progenitor blood, and how all this melds and comes together. But anyways, Aurora basically wakes up in Claire's body, or takes over Claire's body, because she has to save her, because she is Shadow's sister. And we do get to see Aurora really showing off a bit, and just doing some action scenes, and giving the Blood Queen a run for her money. The only reason why she doesn't beat her, even though she tries to use I Am Atomic, the same as Shadow does, but Claire's body can't handle it. Otherwise, she would have just probably killed her herself. But I guess they have to limit her somewhat, right? If not, she would be almost as powerful as Shadow. So they have to make it in a way that she can't just one-shot KO everyone like he does. That's his thing. That's his shtick. But it was good to see her getting some action scenes and showing off. This brings me to a lot of the action scenes, or rather the comedic scenes during the action scenes in this episode. Starting, for example, with when Aurora wakes up in Claire's body and she just takes on her old form, right? And then she says to herself, "Ooh, it's so tight in here." And then she unbuttons her shirt, basically just half shading Claire for her lack in chest size, while also just showing off her own. Like, oh, it's so tight in here, I have to just button a few buttons here. But yes, as I said earlier, there are so many scenes in this episode that are so humoristic and really just so fun to watch and enjoy. For example, when just a fight with Queen Elizabeth starts, and Shadow Garden seemingly having some success, or not being at least obliterated right away, but then Mary being like, she's always been a slow riser due to low blood pressure, and then she sort of opens her eyes and then becomes like even more powerful. It's like, I can't, dude, god damn it. But definitely when Shadow comes in finally, after Aurora holds the Blood Queen off for long enough, and he does his whole monologue of, I can't lose a single one. I won't lose anyone, or lose any of them. And of course, Beta thinks he's talking about Shadow Garden and how he is shielding and protecting them from the Blood Queen. But of course, he is talking about all the gold he has in his cloak or shadow form, which also gives it a very nice bezazzle and shine to it. The second he started saying that, I knew he was talking about the gold, but I did absolutely love where they went with it. Like, yep, going full force, Beta being like, I can see your noble and benevolent spirit protecting us, Shadow. Oh, you glorious leader, I believe in you, you can do it, Gambaro. It's like, god damn it, dude. Such a absolutely hilarious scene, while still being so goddamn entertaining and still feeling impactful with the action. That is another thing of like, yes, the animation, the action scenes have never been, super insane in this show. It doesn't have the budget or the animators for that, but they do such a good job of still making the action scenes seem impactful and seem really engrossing. And I've never felt like the scenes were bad or animated in a weird way or feeling flat. Like, they've always felt good. Like, they always make do with what they have and do so in a very good way. And of course, in the end, Sid, instead of using his normal atomic, uses a recovery atomic this time to basically heal everyone and everything in the city. All the ghouls, the infected people, the possessed, blood, and everything else. Well, he heals everything except for Claire's sort of, special powers that she seemingly now has, to which also Sid believes that she has started the same arc that he was on when he was doing his whole I am all-powerful, I am a god thing, and starting his own fantasy, and basically treats her as a doting father when his kid hits adolescence. Like, it's important to support her in this time when she's just exploring and finding out things. We shouldn't discourage it, or she'll become rebellious, and it's like, god damn it, dude. God damn Sid. Like, he is so clueless, which is entertaining, yes, but I have to wonder at one point, like, dude, you just fought like a massive, really powerful blood queen, vampire queen thing, and like, didn't you see your sister was like almost killed? Like, I know you're in your own head, and you are not in the same book as anyone else here, but at one point, shouldn't you start to realize that things are a bit more serious than you really think? I don't know. Anyways, though, it was a really, really entertaining episode, and the humor really hit for me in this one. I really liked it. Now, I am still unsure of all the small things that they mentioned of how that really works, especially in terms of the evolution and the blood melding and how all that really works, and why Aurora was in Claire's body, how that works, if she's connected by the blood that she has in her, and why only her exactly had this blood meld and not the others. I'm not quite sure how any of this really works yet. Hopefully we will get more answers eventually, but I'm very unsure on that still, and it made me a bit confused of what exactly is going on with that mechanic. I also have questions of why Claire woke up in this seemingly modern school infirmary in modern school clothing. It's like, is that her subconscious bringing that image, or is it Aurora? Does that mean that Aurora was basically in a modern world before it went to hell and they destroyed themselves and the demon and all that happened? Or is it because Claire was also isekai'd and she has like subconscious memories of that in her head, but she doesn't remember? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm a bit confused on that. Also at the end, when Beta basically shows she has no arm, and that says that, I'm not okay, and that the Fada, whatever she's called, the science Shadow Garden girl, will have a field day with this. I'm not quite sure what that means. Like, has Beta never had an arm? Like, has she always used, like, shadow goo to make it? Like, what's been going on with that? She didn't lose her arm in the fight, right? So I'm not quite sure what exactly is going on with that either, but hopefully they will resolve that or explain that better later on. I do also like, though, how it seems that they are slowly but surely letting Claire not in on the secret. Like, they talk about when Claire's having her subconscious dream, basically, where Aurora hints at who Shadow is, but Claire not realizing, but seemingly she starts to get a connection with Shadow somehow, as she even asks Sid, like, do you know Shadow, at the end of the episode when they're on the train, and seemingly building this somewhat cryptic connection between the two of them, and that Claire might start feeling a sort of draw or connection to Shadow, and I'm curious how that might end up developing. Like, maybe we'll see some sort of showdown or some conversation, some connection between her and Shadow down the line. That'd be great, actually. I also did just like the sort of brother-sister bond building, though, we get at the very end with a few comments here and there. And of course, while Sid is very unhappy that he lost most of his gold in the fight and he couldn't recover it, he was like, yeah, if I need more gold, I'll just come back. There are still 2 towers in the city. You know, I'm sure they have something. If I need financial aid, I'll just come back here and rob some more. This city is my piggy bank after all. It's like, goddamn, dude. Ruthless. In the end, though, as I said, it was a great episode, and I really loved the humor and the action in this one. And it does resolve the Lawless City arc well. And I am curious what will happen as we get the very end scene with the Fox girl and Shadow meeting on this train, and what she wants to talk about, and I am sure that will have something to do with the next arc coming up. We also did get that very short scene during the fight where this Fox girl basically remarks to herself that Shadow is interesting and then licks her lips. It's like, okay, does she have some not so kid-friendly intentions, or what's going on here? Guess we'll have to see. It will be absolutely amazingly fun, though, if the Fox girl is like, you know, you're so sexy and amazingly powerful. Maybe we should, pair up or ally up, you know? I'd love to work with you. Hint, hint. Anyways, though, that's just me writing my own doujin in my head right now. But outside of that, as always, Eminence in Shadow continues to be one of my favorite shows in recent memory. It just does so many things so well, and there's no reason why it should be so good, but it always seems to be. With all that being said, what do you think of episode 3? Hate it, love it, leave those in the comment section down below. And yes, I do realize I am late on this one. Apologies, I was sick. And if you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good business, and I will see you in the next video. And if you want to watch another episode review I did recently, click on this video right here. Bye-bye.